Okay. All right. Hello, Plexus with Purpose team. So glad everybody could get on tonight. We are so excited to have Diamond Sonya Dudley on our Zoom call tonight, our Monday motivation. And we had to cancel last week and we rescheduled. And I think it was all meant to be anyway, because Sonya had it down for the 15th and I was me, Miss Blue personality. I got it goofed up and she was still willing to do it last week, but I think it was just God's timing. So we're super happy to have you on here, Sonya. I'm going to tell a little story just of how I first got to know Sonya. I first got to know Sonya when I started with Plexus because I would watch her how to get paid video over and over again, and it took me still forever to figure out how I got paid. But she did a great video. It was just me. And then just all the great videos that you've done with training on how to talk to people about sample packs. And I could just listen to your voice all day long because it's so soothing and encouraging. And I know you're a John Maxwell certified trainer. And so just impactful in my life for sure. And I know the first time I met you, I don't know if you remember the first time you met me, you probably don't, but I was at Leaders Retreat, my first year at Leaders Retreat, and Amber and I, my senior Ruby who's on our team, we were there at Leaders Retreat, and Christine was there with us, Christine Weir, and I was like, we were like right near you and Helen, and you guys were dressed up like cheerleaders, Twinkies. And I was like, introduce us to Sonya. And so she did, and we took a picture, and I was just like starstruck because of all the videos and the training that you've done. And so I just, and then like not long after that, you know, you were in Scottsdale for the Diamond big reveal for the new office, the home office.
Yeah.
The McCalls invited you and Helen to be a part of our opportunity meeting. And so it turned into this big giant thing that I had to plan. And we went to dinner with you afterwards. And I'll never forget because I was senior Ruby and I was like, you were like, well, I'll see you in Hawaii. I got ready to leave for the night. And you're like, I'll see you in Hawaii. And I said, I hope you will. And I said, I hope I'll be in Hawaii. And you took me by both hands and you like kind of shook me and you said, say I will be in Hawaii. And so I just loved that because you've been such an impact on my mindset altogether. And I went to your training in March a year ago, and I know Sadie went to your training, and Lori, some other people in Indiana, Illinois, came to your training recently in March. And so we are thrilled to have you because I just love how, I don't know, I love how God works through you and teaches us what we should already know, like it's scripture to be positive and to have those affirmations. And so God bless you. And I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to let you have the floor. So thank you.
Wow. Okay. First of all, like, woo, what an introduction. Like you really shouldn't have done that because it's like a lot to live up to. Woo. Wow. I totally remember, I really remember having dinner with you and having the opportunity then in Arizona and with the McCalls. And then, that was a big deal to plan. That kind of exploded, didn't it?
It was.
From a little bit.
The biggest meeting we'd ever had really in Arizona was like maybe 40 or 60 people. And all of a sudden you guys are coming in. So it was like almost 200 people. It was like, oh, wow, I better get a bigger venue.
It was crazy. It was so much fun. But, I thought I would just kind of start off tonight just by, sharing with you guys just a little bit about my background, just so you understand that I am as normal, as real, as down to earth as any of you. Like, I am not some person that should be revered as famous, or it's all so crazy to me, and I try to understand it. But I just want you to know that I more than however you see me, I am a person who struggled for years and years in network marketing. This is all I've ever done. Ever. Since I was 19 years old, I've only done network marketing for a period of about 6 or 7 years. Well, actually 5 years. I did work for other people. right before Plexus. But for 19 years, I worked for or 17, and then I took a break, and then a couple more years I worked for someone else. So I've always worked for me. And so I certainly know about the struggles of paycheck to paycheck, discipline, like getting yourself up every day. And if you don't work, you don't get paid. If you don't feel like working, you have to work anyway. Like, truly, I'm just one of those people. I'm not anyone different than anyone on this call. So please just like understand that. I quit college my senior year to go full time with network marketing. So I went to school for 3 years and all the summers. And so all I needed was 21 hours to graduate. And I live in a small town in Tennessee. And I really did want to graduate from college. Like, I really wanted to graduate from college. But I went to my very first convention. I did a certain company all through college, and it paid my way through college. I had to have parties, and I had to have inventory. And all that was great in the early 90s, late 80s. But and so I quit college, came home from that convention, really knew, I saw the dream, I caught the vision at convention. As Alec always says, leaders are born at convention. I mean, truly, that's what happened to me. I mean, I was at convention. I had no idea. It was my very first convention, first time to fly. I had no idea that I was going to be impacted the way I was. And I immediately felt God's calling on my life. And I came home and I quit college. My senior year, I needed 21 hours to graduate. And I remember telling my parents, I'm quitting college. I'm winning a car in 4 months. This is what I'm doing forever. This is my life. And they were like, I mean, they were supportive. They were a little bit like, are you sure? I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Here I was probably 20 at the time. And they both supported me. And I did. I won my car in 4 months, never looked back. And I was with that company for 17 years. And I want to talk to you a minute about, let me get a drink of water. My throat is parched. I want to talk to you a little bit about the difference in making a decision and making a decision. So I'm sure that most of you have probably done something. I love to use this example because I kind of assume that most women have done this before. But I have been on diets where, I would go, okay, I plan it out the week before, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm sticking to it, and I'm going to exercise, and I'm going to eat this. And then Monday comes, and I start off good. And then by, in the afternoon, I cheat. And then I go, oh, okay, it's okay. I'll start again tomorrow. And like, I already am defeated before it even started. So there's that decision. And then there's the decision when it is so clear in your mind that you wouldn't cheat if it no matter what, like if your life depended on it, you would not cheat. It is that kind of decision. So that's the difference in what I'm talking about. In when I came home from that convention, there was no doubt in my mind that I was doing it. Now, let me say this. When your why is big enough, the how-to will take care of itself. Let me say that again. When the why is big enough, the how-to will take care of itself. And that's exactly what happened. I had no idea how I was going to quit college, win a car, become a director, and do this full time. But I didn't think about it because the decision was so strong. My gut, I knew. And so if you haven't crossed that line, I think I have a video like draw your line in the sand. If you haven't crossed that line to where you know that you must do this. I would give you some advice to, and I'm careful to give advice because I don't believe it really works. People really have their own answers, so I don't really think advice works very well. But I will give you this one little piece of advice. Dig deep into your why. Figure out, why are you doing this if you're allowing fear to kind of keep you from going all the way? And so we'll talk a little bit about fear, but you must, if you feel like, I've been in this a year, I've been in it 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and I'm still not where I want to be, why not? What is holding you back? So we're going to talk about that a little bit. I joined Plexus in September of 2012, and my best friend called me and said, okay, Sonya, Helen McFadden, she goes, okay, so I know we said we would never do network marketing again. And I was like, yep, and you're right, I'm not. She said, well, here's the deal. There's a new company. It's just come out, a couple, 3 years ago, and I think it can really, really, really help your health. And I had struggled. I had quit that company of 17 years because of my health. And I was burnt out. I was stressed out, burnout, and the health. All that happened at the same time. And so she said, I really think it could help your health. And she said, there's no inventory and there's no parties. And it's so inexpensive to get started. And she said, I know we said we'd never do this, but I really think that God is telling me this is it. And, God is amazing. And I really felt like that because Helen and I were so against network marketing. Look, we made fun of it at this point. I had been in 4. She'd been in 2. 1 that I had drug her into. So I really felt like, okay, I'm going to listen because you, out of all people, would never do this again unless you felt like God was leading you. So I listened. I got into Plexus in September 2012. There were no videos. There were no catalogs. I think we had 3 or 4 products. It was crazy. And, I didn't question, how am I going to do this? Because there's no resources. I just was so excited because I got on the product and it changed my life the first week. My life, like literally. And so I just started telling everyone. And I remember thinking, I'm not going to worry about what people think, because I already had the thought, people are going to think I'm crazy. People are going to say, Sonya, you've done so many of these. What are you doing? Why should we listen? Trust me. See, you have a subconscious and a conscious mind. And my subconscious was saying, are you kidding me? And my conscious was saying, but listen, I got to give this another shot. I mean, every day, don't you agree that every day you struggle with yourself? Yes? Yes. Yeah. It's a battle. If you say no, I don't know, but it every single day. So I already had those thoughts, but I thought, you know what? How can I not go for it? How can I not go for it? This could be the answer. What if it is? And what if it's not? Oh, well, I've done other things. If it's not, it's not. But I'm going for it, and that's what I did. So I hit Emerald. So I joined in September. I quit my full-time job in November, and I hit Emerald in early March. And then I hit Diamond, I think, in beginning of July. And I tell you that because I want you to understand that so many people think, okay, Sonya, so you did it so fast, but I want you to understand this. I did not do it fast. It took me 20 years. 20 years. I thought I would do it in the other company, and I never even got close. I never had anyone on my team of 17 years. I won 10 cars. 10 cars in 17 years. Wow. And I never had one person that earned $500 a month or more consistently, more than a month at a time. and I think the highest I made was like 60,000, maybe 60, 65. But I owed so much on credit cards for inventory that I never got my head above water. So, you know, it took a lot of life lessons, a lot of people learning, a lot of, learning how to get knocked down and get back up. People saying no to me forever. I would drive an hour and a half to do a party and no one would show up. I mean, I just want you to understand that if you've only been in this a year or 2 or 3, you have really had no time to develop your people skills, your life skills, your your skills about this industry. So I don't want you to beat yourself up. I want you to understand that wherever you are, it's because, okay, so maybe you zoomed to gold. Maybe you got to gold really fast, or senior gold, or you got to silver and halfway to gold and then you've been stuck. I want you to understand that God will stop you at some point to teach you lessons so that you can bring more people of quality on board. Like John Maxwell talks about the leadership lid and the law of the lid. You cannot bring people on board that's above your leadership lid. So if your leadership lid is a 3, that's where you are. So you're only going to sponsor people at a 1 or 2. And so if you feel like everyone I sponsor, like they quit, they don't really want it, they're not doing anything, they join, they quit, you need to first of all reflect on your skills of leading people. A lot of people go into management mode. Once they hit gold, they start managing a team. They start developing a team page and managing a team and bossing them around and posting 12 times a day, but they're not working. They're not working. And here's what happens. Here's the danger in that. When you stop working yourself, your own personal business, and all you do is tell people what to do, what happens is you start feeling a little bit of like that you're lying, that you're not really being authentic, that you're not walking the walk, and you start feeling that way about yourself. And then what happens is it's like your integrity goes down. And so what you're doing then is you start fighting with your self-esteem. You're telling one thing, but you're doing something different. And so there's a struggle there. And so your self-esteem starts going down a few notches. And you start doubting yourself and comparing yourself and wondering, am I really like the leader I need to be? And so the best advice, I don't even like to give it, but the best advice I can give you is to just pull yourself out of the management mode and go, okay, what did I do in the very first 3 weeks I was in Plexus that I felt amazing, that I was doing everything. I was working. It was all about what I was doing, and I felt good about my accomplishments. And that's what you need to go back to doing. Your team will follow you if they're seeing that you're doing it. And when you're welcoming new people on your team page, they're pumped about that. They go, oh, wow, she doesn't need me. She's working. Maybe I need to do this. And they start just watching your example. People won't follow a parked car. They won't follow a parked car. I mean, that's what most of the world is just a parked vehicle. They want to follow something that's moving, that's exciting. And if you're brand new and you're on this call, if you've been in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you don't have to know what you're doing. You have to have passion, and you have to be on the products. You have to love the products, and you have to have passion. That's it. You don't need to have a huge Plexus story. You don't have to know everything at all. Just have passion and love the products. and people will follow that. And that's exactly, I mean, are you kidding? Helen and I had no clue when we started. Like, we were clueless. I mean, oh my goodness. People would go, what's in it? I mean, this is the first month. What's in that? I'm like, I don't know. It tastes amazing, and it's giving me energy, and I feel great, and I'm losing weight, and oh my gosh, I'm going to the bathroom, and it's crazy. They go, okay, I want some. I never even answered their question. I never said what was in it. I said, I don't know what's in it, but here's what it's doing. See, facts sell. Facts just tell. People are bored with facts, but stories sell. So facts tell, but stories sell. You always want to tell a story. That's huge in connecting with people. I've talked a lot today, so I'm parched.
It's all right.
I'm also on a detox, so this is my 3rd week of a detox. So I'm not really eating. I'm doing superfood and doubling up on all my products, and so I'm parched.
It's all right.
And this is distilled water. It's not bad. I don't know why you would drink distilled water, but it calls for a gallon of distilled water a day. So I'm doing everything I can to get a gallon of distilled water a day. So I just want you to understand that if you're wondering, like, you know, what does it really take to go all the way? It takes passion. It takes belief. And belief, let me cover belief. I've got about 9 minutes, so I want to cover belief. Your beliefs are formed 2 different ways. Your beliefs are formed from reoccurring events. So someone has told you your entire life that, you know, this could go either way. You're smart, you're amazing, you can accomplish anything you put your mind to, you can do anything, dream big because you can do it, whatever, all those things. Like you can be anything you even think you can be. So you've had someone your whole life who's poured into you positively, but 50% or more of the people that I deal with, their beliefs have been formed from people who've said, you're not going to amount to anything. You're not smart enough. You're always going to be fat. Everyone in our family is fat. You're going to be fat. No one in our family has went to college. You know, no one has ever done anything like that in our family. Salespeople are horrible. Don't think about being in sales. You need to get a college degree. You know, you're shy. You're not an extrovert. You're shy. You don't need to talk to strangers. So you've heard that kind of negative input your entire life. And what happens is when you hear it over and over and over, it's reoccurring. You're a child. You're a teenager. You don't have a choice. Your brain accepts that as the truth. And when it accepts it as the truth, then that's what you believe. And when you believe it, you perform based on your beliefs. So your actions follow your beliefs. So your words create your beliefs, whether they're your words or someone else's. Your words create your beliefs, and your beliefs create your actions. And so your actions stem from your beliefs. Now, we'll go into one more topic from that. Let me say the second way your beliefs are formed are a traumatic event. Okay, so number 1 is reoccurring. Number 2 is a traumatic event. So a traumatic event, that can be a truly traumatic event as a death in your family, 9/11. Yes, I will. I'll cover that again. Yes, I will cover that one more time. Your words create your beliefs, and your beliefs create your actions. Okay? But I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm so bad to sometimes get sidetracked. Rebecca, where was I?
We're talking about traumatic events like 9/11.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so traumatic events. So it can be something that's very traumatic. 9/11 was traumatic for a lot of people. I know people who will not fly after 9/11. I know people who will not sit on the window seat. I know people who 9/11 was traumatic. A death in the family, losing a child, miscarriage. I mean, traumatic events, okay? But also traumatic events are things like, I was coaching a girl the other day, and she said, I remember, we were trying to figure out where she was stuck, and she remembered being in high school, like I think she was a freshman, and she remembered that they had a spelling bee. She's like 60, so this was a long time ago. But she remembers a spelling bee at her freshman year. And she remembers sitting in the front of the classroom on a stool, her teacher giving her the word, and she misspelled the word. And she remembered her teacher, like making fun of her in front of the class, like jokingly, like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe you misspelled that. I mean, and everyone laughed with him. And she remembers from that point forward never wanting to be in front of a group again. So she said, I remember, because she said, I can talk to people one-on-one all day, but I cannot be in front of 5 or 6 people in a group and feel comfortable with them. And we pinpointed it that's when it changed. Mm-hmm. So when I say a traumatic event, it can be as simple as an event like that. But those are the 2 ways your beliefs are formed, which then leads you into fear. Okay, so we're going to talk about fear for a minute. And then I'm going to say I've got 4 minutes, so I'm going to talk fast. And then I want to open it up for some Q&A for a minute. Okay, so fear. Of course, your fears are stemmed from your beliefs, okay? And you have to understand that when you have a fear come up, when you hear your other voice, right, stop you from doing something that you want to do, you have to stop and say, wait a minute, where is that coming from? Where is that voice coming from? And you have to figure it out. And you need to write it down. The first thing I would say about your fears, and hold on, I've got my PowerPoint pulled up, hold on my laptop, because I wanted to, there was a couple of slides I wanted to cover, and I didn't want to skip anything. Okay. First of all, understand that failure is not an event. It's a judgment. Mm-hmm. Failure is not an event. It's a judgment. Think about it. When Thomas Edison was, discovering the light bulb, and he failed and he failed and he failed. Do we look at that and say, oh, he's a failure? No, we look at he invented the light bulb, right? We're not looking at that he failed 150 times. But he may have looked at it that way, or someone else may have looked at it that way. I don't think he did. But it's how you look at things. It's how you look at things. It's your view of things. So it is a judgment to view failure, it's not good. We have to, when you were learning to ride a bike, did you think about that every time you fell off? Did you think, I'm a failure? No, you were like, I'm going to ride this bike. And your parents were like, you can do it, get back on, get back on. And it probably took us, oh my goodness, I don't even remember, probably 100 times to ride a bike, maybe more. So it's how you view it. It's your perspective of it. Okay, so when you are thinking of fear, all right, I want you to identify it. And the way you identify it is as you're doing something, say that you want to talk to that person so badly on your chicken list. When you're looking at that name, instead of hesitating, you're hearing yourself fight with yourself. You're hearing yourself go, wait a minute, maybe it's not a good time of the day. Maybe they're at work. maybe that, they probably don't need Plexus. They make good money. Like you start, so when you hear that voice, I want you to write it down. You have a fear of talking to someone that intimidates you, talking to someone that maybe makes more money than you, is successful. And maybe you don't think you're successful, but someone who is successful. Write that down. So identify your fear, okay? The next thing is write it down. I just said that. The third thing, so it's identify it, write it down. The third thing is replace it. You must replace it with a positive affirmation. So for years and years and years, when I was in the other company, I would listen to, for probably, I want to say maybe 5 years, I would put a cassette tape in. And it was called an endless loop cassette tape. So now we have on our cell phones, I don't have mine in here, but on our cell phones we have apps that play something over and over. And I would listen to myself saying my goals in a positive present tense through the night. I would sleep with them. And so, of course, 2 or 3 in the morning, I would wake up and I would take them out. But for 4 to 5 hours, I was reprogramming my subconscious mind with positive affirmations as things were happening in the present tense. So, if you have a fear of talking to people, you need to say things like, I am amazing. When I walk in a room, people want to hear from me. In fact, I'm so confident that when I walk in a room, people flock to me and they want to know everything I have to say. I'm very influential with my words. So those are the kind of things you want to say on that tape, on that, what is that called? The app is called Repeat It Again. That's the one I have on my iPhone, Repeat It Again. If you have a Droid, it is called, Affirmation Remix. Affirmation Remix, if you have a Droid. And you should get this because you can reprogram your computer. Your mind's a computer. It's just like your computer. If you type in your computer, I'm amazing, then your computer saves that. But if you type in, I am stupid, I'm not good with people, I am shy, I am afraid, I am ugly, I am fat, then your computer saves that. It does not distinguish the difference between lies and truth. It just saves it. Well, your mind is the same way. It saves it. You are in charge of changing what you're saving, okay? It's crucial that you change what you're saving. Please, that's huge. So one of the books that I highly recommend, and I think, Rebecca, you've done this book, is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. That's huge. Another book that is amazing in the same talk, in the same whole venue here, is Self-Talk, Soul Talk by Jennifer Rothschild. That's a great one. Here's another one. Switch on Your Brain, Dr. Caroline Leaf. And then here's another one, and I'll stop. I got to put all these back on my shelf. Is If You Want to Walk on Water, You Got to Get Out of the Boat. This is a great book. It's a biblical principle book, so I love this. It has a lot of scripture in it, but it's all about getting out of your comfort zone. It's such a great book. My pastor taught on that. He even named his sermon, Get Out of the Boat, about 3 weeks ago, and I told him when I left, I said, have you read that book? He's like, no. I said, I'm giving you that book. You're going to read this book. But it was all about the same scripture that's in that book. It's so good. So I just want you to understand that when people build you up and then you tear yourself down, if you realize you're doing that, you've got to take some steps to change it, because I don't care how many goals you set, I don't care how many systems you get in place, how many new planners you get, all these things that you think you need, until you get this on straight, none of that's going to work. Outward motivation will not work, but inward change is permanent. So, okay, I'm going to stop. I went kind of 4 minutes over, so I'm going to stop, Rebecca.
That was amazing. I love it. And it's so applicable to our businesses, of course, but even with our families. I've read that book, What to Say. I'm on my second time to read it through and study it. And it's like, even today I had a talk with my teenager about mindset because she's got finals and she's struggled in a couple classes. And she's like, I've got to make a B on these finals. And I'm like, you've got to change your mindset, because she was complaining. So really good stuff, what you just shared.
It is. It's so helpful. I mean, my daughter's 16. She's a junior, and it totally flows into, and she hears me enough that, she acts and talks the way I talk because she hears it and sees it. And it really is powerful. And, it's a great concept to grasp. So.
Okay, fire away if you have questions.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I'll take 4 or 5 questions. How many books, so how many books do you read? And how do you, a lot of questions here. Hang on. 6 questions. Okay, 6 questions. So this may be all we do. How many books do you read? I probably read 1 a month. 1 a month, okay? How do you find the ones you want? Whatever I'm interested in learning about, I Google it and I find a book. Sometimes I ask for recommendations and then I research it and I find a book. I'll tell you a book I'm reading right now that's pretty mind-blowing. She's not very careful with her language. She's pretty open with her language, let's just say that. But it's a pretty life-changing book. I'm learning a lot, and I'm going to teach on some of the principles, is the 5-second rule. If you haven't read the 5-second rule, Mel Givens, I don't know. No, Gibbons, I don't know. Just put in the 5-second rule on Amazon. It'll come up.
Is that where you count backwards in your brain or something?
Yeah.
I heard about that. Yeah, Tracy Leidick told me about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty blown away. I'm impressed for sure, and it's a good principle. How do you start a new ambassador off?
You know what? Let's let other people answer questions, and then because I want everybody to have a fair share at asking you some questions.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Why did you quit network marketing when you were winning cars? Great question. I got really sick with fibromyalgia from the stress, because winning those cars were easy for me until I won the last car. And then I stretched myself to win a higher car. And that pink car, that last, I had a few pink cars, but that pink Cadillac was very stressful, and you had to it was a marketing plan that was not set up for success. A great company, I learned a lot, but it was a marketing plan that was set up for failure, truly. And it was never ending. You could never just breathe. It was a lot of stress. So I just figured, okay, there's nothing out there. This is not working. So this is not for me. And I got really sick, and I was in bed for 2 years. I couldn't do anything for 2 years. I couldn't even get out of bed most days. I hurt so badly. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, good question. All right. Anyone else?
I remember you saying you had a lot of debt from that company too, and that's the blessing about Plexus. You're just ordering the products for yourself every month. There's no inventory or...
It's crazy. I remember that first month when I got my paycheck from Plexus, it was like $275, and I remember looking at my husband, and at the time we got paper checks, and the check came, and I had it on the kitchen bar, and I was like, look at this, and that paid my car payment. And I remember saying to him, I don't owe a credit card. I can actually spend this money on things to help us. And it was at that moment that he was like, wow, yeah, let's see what happens next month. Keep doing what you're doing. And then the next month it was more than double. And I realized that this was something unbelievable. Yeah. How do you get over let's see. Are you going to come out west and teach your class? Actually, I'm not right now. My daughter will be a senior in the fall. I'm not traveling for the next, her whole senior year. And so I'm doing virtual. I'm doing my mindset course virtually. So I just offered it and it's sold out. I think I have 125 on it and it's sold out. So I will be doing another one virtually in the fall. I'll have my PowerPoint and everything. So just SonyaDudley.com is my website for that kind of stuff. And so you can check it out and keep up with what's going on. How do you get over the price problem? You know what I believe? I believe that when people want something bad enough, that price is not an issue. So you have to basically not be desperate when you're talking to people, and you have to be like, you know what? How bad do you want to get healthy? You know, what can I help you overcome and maybe leave off? And maybe, you know, you have to want it so badly, Susie, that you're willing to give up the vending machines, the Cokes, the snacks to afford something that could help change your whole life. But until you're ready, I'm not going to push it on you. You let me know when you're ready. So sometimes when you're so pushy and you're so desperate, you got to kind of take it away from people and make them go, wait a minute, I do want it. And you say, do you? Mm-hmm. Do you really? So let's talk about what you're willing to give up to afford it. Because, you know, you may have to give up something to afford it, but you probably won't even miss it and you probably won't regret it. When you start coming off those meds and you have less doctor's appointments, you'll probably be glad you did. So I'm pretty abrasive with people about that. Awesome. Perfect. All right. So I think that's all the questions and I need to go. Yeah. So Rebecca, are we good?
We are good. Thank you so very much, Sonya. We just appreciate all the great wisdom that you gave us. And I think we're all going to be checking our attitudes and we're talking to ourselves a lot more now. So
good. It's everything. Your self-talk is everything. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters because you can go to convention, get motivated, get excited, but if you come home and tear yourself down, it was all for nothing. You've got to work on your self-talk and your belief. It's the key in this business. So thank you guys so much. I love all of you. I can't wait to see you at convention. Come give me a hug if you see me and tell me you were on the call. It was really great to be with you tonight. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonya.
Good night.
Thank you.
That was so fun. Isn't she just the best?
Yes.
She is the best. So bummed she's not coming out west.
That was a great question.
Except for convention.
I think, you know, I don't know if you saw that or not, that she is doing this online virtual training. And I knew they would fill up fast, but I think she just, which I think I admire her for this. I mean, she's like, it's my daughter's senior year.
Sure, absolutely.
So I get that. And I think that's the only reason she's doing it, you know, so I think she'll be back on it the next year. But yeah, it would be nice if she could come to Arizona. We'll be working on it for the year after when her daughter's in college. We'll be getting her out here. Bye. We'll work hard. We might need a few more emeralds on this team to get her to come, like push her out here.
Working on it.
I know, we're going to do it. Mindset, we're going to do it. This team is awesome.
So, alrighty, I'm going to bed.
I know, Sadie, Lori, all you Indiana, Illinois girls.
In Florida.
And Florida, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll talk to you later. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Lori.
Oh, I forgot to stop recording. So we're like videoing all that. That's fun. Okay, now I'm ending the recording. Yay!
All right.
At least I was recording. I did record. Woo woo.
Good job.
All right. Bye, guys.